Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Well, today I wanted to talk with you about two terms that I'm sure you must have been hearing a lot, the terms quarantine and isolation, since I know they must lead to a bit of confusion between the two. We want to know here if they mean the same, if they are different, if it's important to isolate, and if it should be mandatory. Now, I know you may not know what mandatory means. Mandatory is an adjective and it means that it's required by law or rules. So basically, if you do not do this, you may end up going to jail, for example, or having to pay a fine or things like that. So, moving on. Apart from this video that you're watching right now that I have recorded, you're gonna see in the description box that there's a link to another video which is called What Happens If You Are Quarantined? And the YouTuber who made it is called Life Noggin, okay? Why are you going to watch that video? Because there you're going to find all the information about the difference between quarantine and isolation, why it is important, what's the meaning of it being mandatory, and so on. So, like I said, I have left the link to this video in the description box, so you can click on it, open it on another tab, and continue watching my video until I tell you to pause it. Or if you cannot click on it for some reason, you can just look it up by the name, What Happens If You're Quarantined, okay? So after you access the video, just keep it paused because I want you to look at these questions first. So before watching the video, you're gonna need to copy these, guys. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, pencil, pen, whatever, or you can also just open a Word document so you can send me the answers to this. So I want you to tell me what you think, okay? So this is before watching the video and before obtaining actual information. Do you think that quarantine and isolation mean the same? Why do you think that quarantine and isolation are important in a situation like this where we have a pandemic of the COVID-19 virus? Do you think it should be mandatory to go into isolation and quarantine? Remember, mandatory means that it's required by the law. So if you don't do it, you can end up in jail or you will have to pay a fine or something like that. Why do you think it should be mandatory? Why yes and why no? Well, depending on your answer, right? So before you watch the video by Life Noggin, I want you to go ahead and answer these questions either on a piece of paper or on a Word document, so then you can send that to me. Okay? Once you're done answering, come back to the video and we'll continue. Okay, here we have the questions for after you have watched the video. So you may do this however you want. You can either copy them first, then go and watch Life Noggin's video and answer them, or you can watch the video and copy the questions after. You can do it however you want, okay? But this part of the activity is for after you have watched the video. This is a true or false activity, so you have to read these sentences, watch the video, and say if they are true or false. This is all about information that you're going to find in the video. Again, this part is for after you have watched it. This is not for you to think or tell me your opinion. In this part, I want you to actually watch the video and tell me what the video says. So, is it true or false that people who are quarantined are sick? 2. Is it true or false that people who are isolated are sick? 3. Some people fear that mandatory quarantine may do more harm than good. So some people fear that it may be worse for the quarantine to be mandatory than if it wasn't. 4. CDC stands for Center for Dieting Control and Prevention. And 5. A cordon sanitaire means that an entire geographical area, meaning a city, a state, or a country, is quarantine. okay? All this information, you're going to find it in the video that I have attached in the description box, okay? So again, you need to write down the answers and the questions that I have written. I want you to copy the questions as well and give me the answers. Send them to me by email. All right, and there's one more activity that I want you to do. I want you to create a poster to motivate people to stay home. And you can use the phrase stay at home where you do it. And again, remember to email all your work to the school's email address, okay? So I can actually see it and correct it and send you some feedback. Okay, guys, I hope you're doing well, and well, stay safe. Bye-bye.